sun, you could have stayed. It's only over when the day is done. I never knew you was a runner, yeah. I mistook you for a son. It don't matter what we think when it's all over. 'Cause this is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah.
Archie, is it fun?
Fun.
Fun.
After me. Ready? Happy?
Happy.
New?
New?
New.
Boom.
Was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass, time moves on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shade my smile.
Alright, so today is Saturday, May 15, 2021. It's about 12 p.m. and I'm sitting at my campsite continuing with Finding Freedom. And last time I touched the book, God knows, I don't know, sometime last year. And I was up to chapter 6, Culture Shock. So I'm glad I sort of maybe it was good that I stopped there, because it's been a year since then. A lot of things had happened, and I think I left exactly where I needed to be, especially knowing what we know now. The lawsuit, the privacy lawsuit that Meghan won, all sort of things that happened. And then to get into this chapter, it's perfect. All right, so let me read some stuff here that caught my attention. All right, I believe it's this, first page on chapter 6. What number is that? 101, 100, maybe 99. On November 27, 2016, Prince William released his own statement in order to put rumors to rest. Quote, "The Duke of Cambridge absolutely understands the situation concerning privacy and supports the need for Prince Harry to support those closest to him," end quote. Though the purpose of William's follow-up statement was to make it clear that he supports his brother's relationship with Meghan. 2 weeks later, the press reported on tension between the princes over Harry's decision to speak out. Behind the scene, courtiers and some members of the royal family had questioned whether Harry's statement was too strong. Once I got that, I was like, they were not taking Harry serious. They were putting word out there, to make it seem like they care and things like that. And Harry keep on telling them, you better support my wife or respect her and all of this. They didn't listen to him. And then now we know what happened. Okay? They moved to Canada, all right? And then next thing they took away their security. They stripped them of several things. So Harry was dead serious with them, but they were not taking him serious. Okay? Let me see. On the record, again, page 99, chapter 6. On the record, however, Kensington Palace quickly debunked any suggestion that the Duke of Cambridge wasn't in full agreement with his brother's action. All right, so whatever, the newspaper were telling the truth, but the other ones, they love to act. So Harry was not having it. Okay, and while he had in fact privately voiced concern to aides about the speed at which Harry's relationship was developing with a Hollywood actress he hadn't known for long. At the same time, you could understand William, but when you see how long he took to marry his wife, and then the behavior of him while with his wife now. I mean, Harry was like, I'm not going to take any advice from you because you took 10 years to get your wife, and then, based on rumors of him smelling the roses, so you could see why Harry don't think his brother's advice was meant much to him. Because I think those moments where Harry spent with Meghan without the public known, I think he had known enough for him to know Meghan was the right person for him. All right, now page 100. All right, let's see here. William did not worry about press and William did not worry about press intrusion and wanted his brother to feel supported on that issue. Knowing what we know now, okay? Meghan was hurt and stunned by the reaction in the press and online. In conversation with friends, she admitted that while thankfully to be with someone as protective and understanding as Harry, she was emotionally drained. And that's in quote, emotionally drained. You could see Meghan was pissed. I mean, I didn't even need anybody to know that. Look what happened now with the privacy issue. Once she found out what happened to her letter and all of this, and then they took it and decided to publish it, that was the only ticket she had against the British press. And no matter what they did, she was gonna go further with it. All right, we know the issues now. Okay, making matter worse, Harry's royal duties meant the couple were apart in the immediate aftermath of his statement defending Meghan. We have to give Harry as much credit as possible, knowing that the people you grew up with, your family, okay, the royal family that is, who you thought were on your side, who understand you, they're telling you one thing in front of you, but their true feeling toward the someone that you love is not what it is. You could see how angry he could be. All right, just imagine if it was you. All right, you know the person. Like, for instance, for the type of person Meghan is, I don't think Harry has ever encountered that kind of personality. All right, where not only they don't see you as a prince, but they tell you things as is. All right, and if you are hurt, you see the caring and loving and those kind of thing she probably did to take care of him and all of that. And then when it's time to talk tough, she's being tough with him and very straightforward to him. So I think Harry saw those signs and said, this is the person. She's not sugarcoating things to me. She's not trying to be nice to me and things like that. I see some of her angles. Angles meaning when she's angry, when she's loving, when she's affectionate, and when she's serious, when she's at work. These kind of angles that I'm talking about. So Harry saw those angles within Meghan and said, that's the person. She's not trying to be nice to me 24/7. So all of this, I think Harry saw it. So that's why he wasn't taking BS from his family. So, because when you look at, from the outside, probably him looking at his family, they're only in one angle. So behind the closed door, okay, let's say they're going to go to a public event, the true self among themselves. Oh, you need to do this, act like this, do the smile, wave, and all of this. All right, just do that for a few hours and then come home and do your thing. Every time those kind of things are happening, maybe those kind of voice, the two faces kind of people are there. But Harry, on the other hand, when he goes to the public event, he saw the suffering, the loving that he get from people, the embrace and things like that, the admiration that he got from those people. And then his family, the royal family, probably don't, take it in and say, oh, these people were so nice. What can we do to help them? Nope. His family, the royal family, once they finish that, okay, when are we going to go hunting? Let's say they went to a public event for wildlife a couple hours before. And then, oh, let's go hunting. Let's go for moose chasing. Or let's go kill some bird or something like that. Harry is confused. He was confused. Why these people are like that? In front of people, you see the suffering. You just told them you should be careful with, preserve the nature and all of this. So I could see Harry being confused and said, these people are two faces. And then you look at Meghan, for instance, they're going hunting, and Meghan probably went to an event where it had to do with wildlife. And then they said, oh, we're going to go hunting. Meghan was like, sorry, I'm not going to go because I don't want to see those animals being shot. So Harry was like, wait a second. She just went to an event and talked about that, and then now we're gonna go hunting. She still have that same feeling what she told those people out there. So you see what I'm saying? These are the two examples that I'm giving you, where Harry put two and two together, and all of those questioning, those doubts that he had about things that he was confused about, they're starting to align. They're starting to align when Meghan came and said, no, if I talk to these people about that in my private life, I'm the same person as I was in public. This kind of thing. And then when they're together, the loving, the affection, the whatever problem they want to solve together is still her. So Harry saw it. So they can, no matter what the family said to him, there's no way he's going to change his mind, because he saw his family as a two-face and Meghan as many angles as she has. But when she says something, it is what it is, both on the inside and outside, meaning the public. Okay, that's what I get from all of this. And my phone is slowing down a little bit. All right, so let me see what else I could share with you guys. Oh, actually, I didn't finish with that page here. All right, page 100, chapter 6. Making matters worse, Harry's royal duties meant the couple were apart in the immediate aftermath of his statement defending Meghan. I put on the side of the book and I said they were trying to keep him away from Meghan. All right, trying to cool him down to see, are you still really in love with her or something like that? Let's keep him away from that. Okay, days after its release, Harry took on a 14-day, 7-country tour of the Caribbean to celebrate the Queen's 90th birthday. Youth empowerment, sports for social development, and conversation were the areas of focus during the Prince's itinerary, which include the Commonwealth realms of Antigua and Barbados, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenada, and Barbados, as well as his visit to Guyana on behalf of the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. All right, so even though, all right, this is the part that I underline. Even though, what happened? Why are you back?
Oh, Dad told me to grab sweaters. He said that he won't trust you won't trust us if we stay alone, so he sent me.
Okay. Let me look for those stuff. So what if I wasn't here? I was still walking around. All right, so yeah, my son came to get some jackets. All right, so while I was reading, a couple things came here. Let me see. I don't know if I read it, but let me read it again. Even though it meant being apart from Meghan when she needed him most, it was a thought that established Harry as a force within the royal family. Parenthesis, trips like this are planned 6 months in advance to a year, in advance, and there was no way he could have seen this coming. From assisting in the release of baby turtles to the Sea of the Nevis Turtle Group and the handing out honors while selling RFA Wave Night to St. Lucia, parenthesis, a job usually reserved for the Queen, Prince Charles, and Prince William, he won over the people of each country he visited. When I read this, the first thing that came to mind, it's like, I feel like they were trying to keep him away from someone that he loved. Okay, even though the book says these things usually plan in advance, 6 to 12 months in advance. So God was working with Harry. It's like while they keeping him away from the love of his life, he was winning the popularity of what he has now, who are behind him now. So if you go around the Commonwealth, you're going to find, I'm pretty sure, a good amount. And there are still some who haven't seen the light yet of the world really don't care about them. But a good amount of people who are part of the Sussex squad who are supporting Harry right now. So each places that they send him, hoping to keep him away from the love of his life or things like that. Someone, who wants to spend some more time with his wife, his girlfriend or whatever, but they're keeping him away from that. And then meanwhile, looking for the future, God is like, okay, that's the way you want to play? Fine. Let me get his squad ready. All right, let him gather his squad because eventually he's gonna need them, and which is what's happening now. I mean, we didn't know all of this. We're gonna have. I mean, many of us didn't know we're going behind the scene, but as things starting to reveal, people are seeing things for what it is. You realize that they were trying to keep him away from his wife. Okay, let me continue. I'm seeing here. So while he was at that tour, so he was meeting a lot of people. But he found out that at most places he went, people wanted to talk about Meghan. This is the thing here. God was like, let's get these people rally up because eventually they're going to need them. Okay, so people were asking for Meghan. Damn, listen to the chorus. Okay. He found out that at most places he went, people wanted to talk about Meghan. When he visited Kingstown Botanical Garden to see the national bird, the Vinci parrot, trainers attempted to get the bird to say Meghan's name for the prince without success. Okay? Alright, let me continue with. Alright, so this is very interesting. Okay, on the first day of the tour, Gaston Brown, the Prime Minister of Antigua and Bermuda, teased Harry, quote, I believe we are expecting a new princess soon. What was that? Okay, I'm not trying to be like I know everything here. Many of you know more than I do. Was this trip, I mean, I could search it later, but were this trip were before they got married, or I'm a little bit losing time here, or was it after or before Harry even announced about Archie? Because I know it was when he went to Australia, that they announced about Archie, Meghan pregnant and stuff like that. So I'm assuming that was before that. Okay, quote, I wanted you to know that you are very welcome to come to our honeymoon here. The politician pitched the prince. Quote, we have been voted consistently as the best honeymoon destination in the Caribbean and one of the best in the world. So there will be nowhere in the world as special to spend your honeymoon when that day arrives. Okay, so if they get married, I'm assuming. So I'm assuming they didn't get married yet. Throughout the tour, Harry and Meghan was in Toronto working and dodging paparazzi. So that was when they were dating. That's when they were dating. Things came out. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. You know, I forgot what I read last year. Okay. So I'm trying to orient myself here. So yeah, it has to be when they were dating. It has to be when they were dating. Okay, working with dodging paparazzi. Yep, that's when they were dating. Okay, spoke almost every day via FaceTime. No matter how hard time were for her, Meghan understood the importance of Harry's mission. Best exemplified in his visit to Guyana and Barbados to make the 50th anniversary of the nation's independence. Okay, so I guess that when So some of the things that I said earlier, trying to keep him away from Meghan, but it was more like pretty much to get his mind away from Meghan, give him some work to do so he doesn't sit back and just pondering, thinking about Meghan. Then again, it also perhaps to keep him away from Meghan, because I believe from what we know now, he used to travel to go visit Meghan every 2 or couple weeks. They alternate to go see each other, so could be that also. Okay, it was in Barbados that he and singer Rihanna took HIV tests in a clinic in the country's capital, Bridgetown, on World AIDS Day. Okay, so let me continue reading some more. You see, like I was saying before, I knew they were trying to keep him away from Meghan. This is what, two things here. One about AIDS. When he took the AIDS test with Rihanna and Barbados and stuff like that, the first thing that came to mind is that you see a lot of people are afraid to find out the truth. Okay? So what's the best thing? It's almost like when people stepping on the scale. I know everybody have a different thing here. For me, when I step on the scale, it's to see where I'm at, whether to adjust my nutrition or do some stuff and things like that. So I want to know what, if I'm getting heavier or should I, adjust my diet. So for the AIDS thing, when him and Rihanna got tested, is that, don't you think it would be best to know? That way, if you need medicine, you could, get the proper treatment and all of this. So this is something some of you need to understand. The truth will always be there. You could avoid it as much as you can, but it will always be there. You may not like the truth. I know that's the thing many people are afraid of. You may not like the truth, but wouldn't it be better to know the truth than just avoiding knowing the truth? All right, so still in 2021, people are still getting AIDS, for being careless. There's one YouTuber, a group of YouTubers that I watch. It has to do with Barbell Brigade. They're in that group, and they were doing a podcast, and I was watching it. One of those group ladies who got STD, and thank God it wasn't AIDS. I forgot the term of that STD she had. And I'm thinking, if you're having casual sex unprotected now, even with you dating, shouldn't you find out certain things first before you do unprotected sex? That's all I was thinking when she came out and saying this. So it's always good, no matter how sexy and good looking that person is from the outside, it's what really on the inside that matters. Imagine the headache you get after getting that STD. You have to go to doctors, get treatment, and all of this. So the simplest thing to do, okay, is get tested first. You and your partner get tested first. That way you could do your thing freely instead of getting the headache. Is the headache afterward of, oh my God, let's say for instance you do get STD, for instance, you have to get treatment, you have to make doctor appointment every now and then, and that's gonna cost you a lot of money and all of this. Even if the test come negative, at least your mind will be free from all of the headache or all the possibilities that could have happened. Okay, so you guys need to, don't just look at the person from the facade. Okay, it's always what's on the inside that matters. Someone could look as good as whatever you consider as beauty, but the inside is what matters. Both personality, is that person a serial killer? Okay, or is his inside is clean? Okay, his blood is clean, or his, whatever it is that usually cause STD and all of this. So you guys, stop avoiding the truth. Knowing the truth is better than trying to avoid it. All right, so that's what came to mind when I was reading that part. There was another thing here. All right, it goes here. As soon as the Caribbean tour was finished, Harry's first stop and a break from protocol was to see Meghan. See, this guy was in love. It's like you try to keep him away from, you try to keep her away from me. I'll do your thing, but as soon as I finish, I need my privacy here. I want to get some rice. Okay, probably talk to her. Oh, yeah, they did say they do FaceTime and stuff like that. That probably was the thing that kept him motivated in that tour. All right, Meghan is encouraging him, boosting him during those FaceTime. And then as soon as the thing, the tour finished, hey, Okay, you keep me going. Now I need to release those energy and you. All right, so Meghan probably treat him very well. Okay, come over there, go to Canada, and get some loving. Hey, it is what it is. That's human. Okay, I think I will be doing the same thing too if I'm in love with someone that much and they try to keep that person away from me. As soon as I'm finished, yeah, I wanna see you. Okay, instead of going straight to England, I'm gonna be taking the plane anyway. I need to see my girlfriend. Go see your girlfriend and make. Let me stop now. All right, let's see what else. So they were really trying to keep them away, but Harry was like, "I'll do your thing. You tell me to jump, I'll jump. How high? I'll high. I'll do it. And then after that, it's my time." All right. So he broke protocol was to see Meghan. Okay. Palace policy dictate that, quote, working visits should not be combined with personal travel. You see? So he waited until his thing was over. All right? As soon as the thing is over, he clocked out. He clocked out. He didn't care. Okay? Harry came under fire from the press for not taking the British Airways flight, you see, to London from Barbados that he had been booked on. Instead, traveling straight to Toronto, if Meghan hadn't already fully understood that every small detail of a royal life was under the microscope, she did now. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, Harry didn't care. Harry didn't care. I don't think he cared. He clocked out, he did his 7 tour, and guess what? I'm done with your tour. Now it's my personal life. Let me go see my girlfriend. All right? Although Harry was once warned Meghan that his life was surreal, even he had been blindsided by the kind of coverage she elicited. All right, let me see some more before I continue here. Meghan, 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 Meghan. You know how to play your man really good. Listen to this. While Harry was traveling and Meghan was home in Toronto, she made her affection known in subtle ways. While running errands around town on December 3rd, she wore her newly purchased 300 Maya Brunei necklace, a delicate 14-karat gold chain bearing both the initial M and H. That same day, she also dressed her beagle, Guy. I'm telling you that I think Guy the dog is jealous of Archie. I don't think Guy loved Archie as much because as soon as Archie came, Archie took his spot. But anyway, that wasn't the thing that I was saying here. All right, let me continue reading. Okay, she also dressed her beagle Guy in a Union Jacket sweater. Posting the snap to Instagram, the message was received by Harry, who turned up outside her door not 24 hours later. That got Harry going. Harry was like, I need more rice. You're teasing me, Meghan. I need you now. I wish I had money like that. I could travel around the world to see my girlfriend as soon as she posted something. Harry was feeling horny too. Meghan, she posted and like, I need you right now. And like, okay, almighty granny, I need to see Meghan. Harry was not playing. Oh my God, this guy, you could see it's still going on. He doesn't take shit from anybody. He doesn't give a shit. My goodness, Meghan was teasing him around the globe. And I'm sorry, that's the way I see it. Harry was like, oh, you want this? I'm coming over. Before you know it, before her shift was over from suit, Harry was already there. My goodness, he's like a Superman. I'll be right in front of your door. Oh, you want the Union Jacket? I could see Harry come with her underwear with the Union Jacket. What's that movie? Oh, Austin Powers. Why are you teasing him like that, Meghan? But then again, it worked. You got him. You got him. God damn, they were trying to control Meghan from the get-go. Listen to this. 2 days after Meghan was photographed buying flowers at her usual florist, well, let me take it back, all right? Allegedly, because from what we now know, there are some mistakes in finding freedom. So, just in case, let me take a step back. All right, allegedly. Okay, they were trying to control Meghan from the get-go. All right, so the book goes on to say, 2 days after Meghan was photographed buying flowers at her usual florist, wearing her new initial necklace, she received a phone call from a senior Kensington Palace aide. She was advised that wearing such a necklace only served to encourage the photographers to keep pursuing such image and new headlines. What we now know, they were two-faced with Meghan, okay? Telling her one thing and then probably pushing the photographers, paparazzi, to go after her at the same time, all right? She said little during the call, choosing instead to simply listen to the counsel. You see, from the get-go, Meghan trying to go by their rule. And then you go and backstab her and then money in her pocket. All right? That's the copyright thing. All right, but after hanging up, she felt frustrated and emotional. While she knew the aide had good intention, the surreal expression of having someone from her boyfriend's office tell her what kind of jewelry to wear, that's what I'm saying, to wear or not to smile at a photographer was too much. Meghan immediately called one of her close friends, close to tears, as she waited for her pal to pick up. Okay, quote, I can't win, end quote. She said, completely distraught, quote, they make out like I'm to blame for these pictures, that it looked like I'm encouraging them. That me even acknowledging the camera may not be sending the right message. I don't know what to say. It was only yesterday people online were saying I look miserable in the pictures because I was trying to just ignore the photographer, end quote. She felt damn if she did and damn if she didn't. I mean, I think Meghan did her best. She went along with these people as much as she could. And then you see the frustration. All right? She tried to be a good citizen, to play by their rule. And then once she get tired of it and realized they were backstabbing her, and this is what happened. And I told you, as soon as she got them with the copyright, I knew she wasn't going to let go. I knew she wasn't going to let go. It's too good to, because that was the only thing she had on them. All right? So, yeah. So far, I'm still in chapter 6. I'm telling you, this thing is going to take me forever. All right? Because each time I read certain part, I'm thinking of something and I decide to share with you. That's the way I do my review. All right, let's see what else. There's a part here where I always feel like Jessica will always be in Meghan's life. No matter what happened, even before I knew much about her, I still don't know much about her. But like last year when those rumor was going on and stuff like that, I was like, nah, I don't believe what's happening. Even though she took herself out of social media and they're trying to pen her against Meghan, I was like, nah, I didn't believe it. So here in the book, it says here, all right, another one of Meghan's good friend, Jessica Mulroney, had a similar conversation with her friend Sophie Gregor Trudeau in 2013 after her husband, Justin, set his sight on becoming Canada's Prime Minister. According to a source, Jessica told the future First Lady of Canada that unfortunately that kind of intrusion into her behavior was something she had to get used to if she wanted a life with a public figure, and she should trust that people around her husband just wanted the best for both of them. So by hearing that side of Jessica telling that to the future prime minister's wife, you will assume, okay, that's the way I will assume too, people around Prince Harry, his office, you will assume this is what they want from Harry. All right, so knowing what we know now, they're showing something in front in public, but they were backstabbing from the get-go at the start before even they get married. All right, so what we know now, this is what happened. Okay, it was Sophie who ultimately offered Meghan the same advice. Okay, Jessica introduced the woman in 2016, knowing that the two now had a lot in common. You see, when you have good friends, you surround yourself by good people, always good thing will happen. All right, look at how she introduced them and then look how they become friends. Okay, Sophie had given up a career in television, almost like Meghan, where she had been working as a correspondent on CTV, E-Talk. Okay, E-Talk to talk on a more formal role alongside her husband as he hit the campaign trail. All right, So almost the same thing. Meghan gave up her life, her career, and everything to be with Harry. And I think Harry recognized that. All right, I think this is why they are good friends, Meghan and Trudeau and all of that, and the wife too. Okay, the pair became fast email friends. Meghan was interested to hear how Sophie had successfully made the move from an entertainment news correspondent to much beloved First Lady, all while skillfully dodging controversy. You see, I'm telling you, I think it was meant for me to not continue reading that book from last year, because as I continue reading, more revelation are happening. Moving is like fast forward, and then I'm going back now as I read the book to see how things were planning out. So Meghan was pretty much ready to take the role of being Harry's wife. Okay, she had all the good advice, all the people around her telling her the proper step to take. So knowing again, allegedly, if the book is correct. So she had all the right person to advise her how to proceed with her relationship with Harry. All right? So that's that. Let's see what else. All right, there's the thing here. Quote, Sophie will have made it clear that every single aspect of Meghan's past will be dug up. So the most important thing was to be honest with Harry, tell him everything. End quote, said a close Trudeau friend and former cabinet member. Quote, Sophie's a smart woman and the perfect brain for Meghan to pick. She knows how difficult something like this is. Few people can relate or truly sympathize for those of us that knew about their friendship. It was amazing to see the change in Meghan that followed. End quote. Okay, still Harry and Meghan had to transition to a new way of life. Quote, both of us were totally surprised by the reaction after the first 5 or 6 months of when we had it to ourselves. Okay, of what actually happened from then. Okay, he's quote, end quote, he said later in a joint interview with Meghan for BBC. Quote, you can have as many conversation as you want and try to prepare as much as possible, but we were totally unprepared for what happened after that. So like I said, we know what happened now, because the way Meghan proceeded that relationship with Harry, especially after they were their privacy were invaded, because they were dating quietly and all of that, and then all of a sudden, as soon as they know they were dating, and then you see all things went haywire. So I think Meghan had the right person around her, and Jessica Mulroney did the right thing for introduce them to former they're still Prime Minister, 2021. So to First Lady of Canada. So Meghan had the right people around her who advised her the right way. And then Meghan had nothing to hide. Everything were all positive. Look at what we now know. They even tried to pay people to lie about her. All right? So Meghan had nothing to lie. As a matter of fact, the way Meghan will probably tell Harry about her privacy or things that she's done, it would be almost as if she was bragging about her life, because everything is so good. All the things she's done is all on the internet. All right, the UN and do all these things, and around the world with charities. So it's almost like she would be seen as though she was bragging, but it was her true life. So she had nothing to hide. All right. Yeah, it's like every step of the way there's something. Quote, we were just hit so hard at the beginning with a lot of mistruth that I made the choice to not read anything, positive or negative. Okay, and quote, Meghan said of the narrative of her as a scheming social climbing, quote, the ghetto, and quote, whose main goal in life was to marry up. My goodness. Quote, it just didn't make sense. And instead, we focus all of our energies just on nurturing our relationship. And believe me, Harry needed that. And I'm glad, like Harry said, the stars were aligned. Because I don't know, from this point, I don't know if I'll be able to continue. They would have got me. I don't think I'm as strong as Meghan to continue. So they knew what they got before the paparazzi find out. Because if I see someone telling me this is what my purpose here, I don't know. I think I would have stopped it. But Harry, maybe she did, and Harry convinced her and said, no, I know, the type of person you are. Just let them talk because I really love you or something like that. I'm just guessing here. So there's a possibility Meghan did want to stop it. And then Harry probably the one who convinced Meghan and said, no, let's continue it because I see the true you. I understand you. And look what happened to my mom and all of this. So they probably trying to stop us from continue or something like that. Maybe Harry probably convinced her to stay in the relationship, because I don't see myself doing that. I'll be like, nah. But they stay on their goal. Again, it always go back to that foundation of stuff before the world knew of their relationship. So they probably were already cemented of what they're planning on doing, or not even planning, just being authentic to each other and say how it is and do as they feel. And then her previous work prior meeting Harry speak for itself. So Harry probably was like, no, they may think that, but that's not what I think. All right. So this is why, again, we fast forward here, 2021. Harry was like, I'm willing to give up everything for this girl because that's not what she's all about. All right, and look what they are doing now. There's Archwell. They did Vax Live, just to give you a perspective of the time now, because I started reading this book since last year. So they did Vax Live, and they raised money, and they give to charities, and they moved to and all of that. So Harry knew what's up. He knew he got the right girl, so he wasn't playing that. So I also think once Harry told Meghan exactly how he felt about her. And I think that's why Meghan was willing to jump the hurdle with him. All right. Every hurdle that they throw at Harry or her in particular, especially Meghan, and Harry was willing to jump those hurdles along with Meghan. So I think the more nonsense they throw at them, I think the stronger that they become, because that foundation before the world knew was already set. So Harry, who already have experience of losing his mom, so each time they throw something at them, it's like they become closer and closer. And you see Harry, every time they go somewhere, he's not letting her go. And then he look at her like, the angel that Meghan is. All right, let's continue. I'm telling you, every time I stop, and it's like I'm reading the whole chapter to you guys, and I'm only on page 104. Okay, quote, "It's a shame that is the climate in this world," end quote, she said. Quote, "At the end of the day, I'm really just proud of who I am and where I come from, and we have never put any focus on that. Okay, we've just focused on who we are as a couple." Believe me, they've been doing that ever since. Okay, and so when you talk all those extra layers away and all of that noise, I think it makes it really easy to just enjoy being together. Look at this, I didn't even read that. And tuning all the rest of that out. There's a video that I made. People would have assumed that I probably read the chapter. I didn't. All right. As soon as I finished like camping last year, the book was closed. As a matter of fact, well, luckily I had it in a plastic. There was dust on that freaking plastic bag. So just to give you a hint that I didn't read that chapter yet. And there's a video that I made, and I think I did the recording when I was camping. And I have two people meditating and one person in the back screaming on a loudspeaker, and I was like, Meghan, she was in the zone. And there it is here in the book. Okay, we've just focused on who we are as a couple. And so when you take all those extra layers away and all of that noise, okay, I think it make it really easy to just enjoy being together and tuning all the rest of that out, end quote. Okay, still, after fighting back, the couple was exhausted. They had been together publicly for only just over a week. Okay, so that gives me a sense of where I was. When I started recording, I forgot because I'm in the future from that book. So now I'm going back and I was like, was it when they married or... So I was a little bit lost. Okay, so now I have a better sense and time of where they are. Okay, they had been together publicly for only just over a week, but it felt more like a lifetime. The adversity only made their love for each other stronger. You see, this is what I see too. Okay, and a family friend said that it strengthened Harry's mission to protect Meghan. Yeah, yep, I think they really making their relationship stronger. Each those nonsense that they throw at them is like another layer of them being stronger. I see that. I truly believe that. Because again, each time I said that, I have to go back to that foundation of things, because Harry understand it, and both of them probably made a pact, okay, and understand each other. And from that Trudeau wife speaking to Meghan and said, just tell Harry the truth. So there was nothing to hide. So every time they spoke is the truth, both of them. So anything that come at an angle, whether it's it's good or bad, as long as it's the truth, they know how to deal with it. All right. Still, after fighting back, the couple, okay, I read that. The adversary only made their love for each other stronger, and a family friend said that it strengthened Harry's mission to protect Meghan. No matter how much Harry tried to put it in context, she often spoke to friends about how difficult it was to take it personally when the press and public questioned her suitability as a royal bride and compare her to the aristocratic girls Harry had dated in the past. Oh, we know now, we know now, we know now. And Harry was not looking for those type. Oh, they were about cutting ribbons. That was it. And many times when I think about this, those aristocrats, there's a trip my family and I took to Virginia, and we went to those settlements and stuff like that. There was one place we visited. What was it? I think it was it Jamestown or something? But it could have been one of those museum. We went inside the house and they were telling us about the life of aristocrats when someone is titled lady and the kind of things that they do. They don't usually do those type of work. They'll play the piano. I remember going. It's probably 2016 or something when we went with my kids, and I was like, damn. And every time I think about, when they talking about Lady Diana Spencer and all of that, even Diana wasn't about that. She was a hands-on kind of thing. But anyway, so this is the type of person they wanted for Harry. And Harry was like, nope, that's not what I want. All right. He waited until he find the right person. All right. Let's see. All right. Let me pause. Oh, yeah, I was reading it. Okay. Aristocratic girl. All right. Let's see here. Her ability as a royal bride and compare her to the aristocratic girls Harry had dated in the past. Being an actress in Hollywood certainly helped Meghan start off her new role more adeptly than the other women in Harry's life. But the tabloid controversies did all they could to derail her poise. Okay, we know why, and we know who were behind it. Okay. There's a microconception that because I have worked in the entertainment industry, that this will be something that I will be familiar with, end quote, Meghan said. Quote, but even though I've been on my show for, I guess, 6 years at that point, and working before that, I've never been part of tabloid culture. That is true. People, some of the squad knows these things more than I do, and this is why I was like, when I'm hearing all the negative thing about her, I never heard anything negative about Meghan when she was acting and all of that. It's until she married into the royal family and you hearing all this nonsense. So Meghan is not familiar with this kind of BS kind of thing. All right, I've never been in a pop culture to that degree and live in a relatively quiet life, which is true, even though I focus so much on my job. So that was a really stark differences out of the gate. When you see her making public appearances and stuff like that, it's always about her work. They went to Texas. They did that, I guess that where all the actors on suit were sitting. They were asking questions. I don't know for what, but promoting the show, I guess, this kind of thing. So she was doing this for her job, but she wasn't the type of doing those crazy stuff that you always see those actors who, when the limelight is not on them, they go crazy. Instead, she focused her energy into charitable work. So she never really oh, I want the spotlight all the time, and then that usually make many of these actors go berserk because they want the spotlight all the time. So therefore, instead of focusing on all this BS, they go and Meghan goes and do charitable work to keep her mind occupied. Okay, while she might not have been prepared for the intensity of being captivated from TV stardom to the royal stage as an actress, she was used to a level of criticism most people aren't. She also possessed a comfort level in front of photographers that doesn't come easily to Harry. Yeah, I put many of these videos on many of my things where you see her giving autograph and all of that. Okay, Meghan was now in a role that never had hiatus. Okay, like an other American actress, Grace Kelly, who married Prince Rene of Monaco, she had the potential to make the royal family more accessible to a wider swath of public in the UK and abroad. They didn't see that. That's the thing here. They didn't see that. They just saw they should be the one. Okay, but they don't know how to see opportunity to make them greater than where they are because they want it all. They have to be the one, the pioneer of stuff, but they don't have the brains to do such thing. Okay, Meghan was now in a role that never had hiatus. Okay, what was that? Grace Kelly, Monaco. Where was I? I don't want to read everything all over. The price for Meghan, however, was that now every word uttered, every gesture made, every piece of clothing worn will instantly be scrutinized and analyzed for subtext. She had to move with a level of decorum and no normal life demand. The transition wasn't just culture shock for Meghan. Kensington Palace royal courtier also had a period of adjustment exaggerated by the relentless 24-hour digital media cycle. Meghan and the Kensington Palace had all the warning to readjust themselves. All right? This woman was already in the public eye. There will be a new group of fan that will be coming to make you, because they want to be loved around the world. So you have all those pre-warning to readjust yourself for a potential person to be in your family. But nope, that's not what they see. They wanted everything, but at their own term. All right, she could be there, but she can't speak. She had to do as I said and all of this. So you can't have that. You can't have that. No way. All right, anybody with a good, their brain schooled properly, there's no way. No way they will want you to be controlling them. All right, the transition wasn't just culture shock for Meghan. Kensington Palace royal courtier also had a period of adjustment exacerbated by the relentless 24-hour digital media cycle. Most of the team began to work at the household after William married Kate in 2011, so they missed the early days of the couple's relationship and the British tabloid incessant harassment of Kate, as they criticized her and her mother, Carol, digging up every trace of her and her family's past. Quote, when Harry introduced Meghan as his girlfriend, a series of girlfriend, it was a new experience for everyone. And quote, a former palace aide revealed, quote, when Harry formally introduced her to his team in August 2016. Okay, so this is where they began. All right, a lot of time, every time I mention it on some of my other videos, I always have to look it up. Okay, so it's 2016. Okay, he was already certain of their future. All right, that's where before that, maybe a year, couple months prior to that, so they had their foundation cemented before all these haters get in between them, meaning the courtiers and the father and all of that, and they start creating the rift between her and her father. So we know the story now. Okay, he was already certain of their future. I think detailing with the extreme and sudden level of interest in Meghan's and teaching her how to deal with it was something many of them had to learn on the job. There is no training you can do to prepare for that. End quote. All right, let's see it. Learning on the job inevitably involved making some mistakes or at least having some whack moment. Meghan expressed frustration to friends over AIDS. Okay, now we know. All right, quote, flip-flopping, end quote. See, they're making those rules as they go. All right, they set her to fail. All right, so if she jumped the hurdle, she did so well. Okay, so we need to readjust this rule and forget what they told her in advance. And Meghan, you could see she's a very smart person. She retained information. So you're telling her one thing, and then as soon as the hurdle pass and she did so well in it, and then you readjust the nonsense to tell her, and then Meghan is like, what the hell? And this is probably when Meghan probably start figuring out, okay, I need receipt. Okay, even though they didn't marry yet, but she probably was like, if I do get involved with Harry and that goes a bit further, I need to keep my receipt. All right, between decision. Okay, flip-flopping between decision. Okay, case in point, where the numerous discussion Harry and Meghan had with staff about the right time and place to first be photographed as a couple. Taking her to an engagement was off limit, as that will go against royal protocol. I remember when they went somewhere, they had, where was it? Is it one of the Invictus thing? And Harry had to sit completely opposite way across Meghan completely. So that was one of the things that came to mind. Okay, but perhaps Harry could bring Meghan to a sporting event as a guest spectator and that's the one, okay, stand with him so they could be seen together without appearing to court attention. The goal of the photo was to softly introduce Meghan to the public while keeping the paparazzi at bay. That also brings the attention of when Charles went to that dinner with Camilla, where they staged everything and tried to introduce Camilla to the public as Charles' girlfriend or something like that. I mean, knowing the history of Camilla, I don't think, well, there's some people in the UK who drinking that Kool-Aid, but the true people whose brain and head is cooled properly, they will never accept Camilla. I, for one, will never do that, especially will accept her because of her involvement during Princess Diana's marriage with Charles, okay? She should stay out of it, all right? Tell Charles, go sleep with your wife, okay? Keep your distance. You have your own man. You had your own, ding dong. You had your own ding dong to ride. So ride your own ding dong, okay? And leave Diana with her own ding dong. Okay, if she had put a stop to that, okay, I think Charles would have stopped. Okay, she will stay with. He would have figured out the beauty in Diana. All right, because you keep on letting him in. All right, so he keep on coming back. I'm not just blaming Camilla. It's both of them. All right, Meghan had a good idea about how to pap game worked, but now. Pap meaning paparazzi work, but now she was in Harry's quote overwhelmingly and confusing. Believe me, if Harry and Meghan had did things their way, it will never been that way. It's the other ones, the courtiers, the how do you call them, the royal people who trying to stage things, trying to make things, thinking this is what the public want. If Harry and Meghan did it their way, there won't be no problem. Okay, but now she was in Harry quote overwhelmingly and confusing quote world, and so deferred to him and his staff quote. There was an element of quote, I'm just going to be quiet and see what everyone else think, end quote, a friend said of Meghan's attitude. This is the thing here, you can't blame Meghan as much. This is why it's good to always keep your mouth shut. All right, if she had said stuff, go to the public and tell her, fingers will be pointing at her 24/7 as well, and then the courtiers will know how to hide behind some of the comment Meghan will be saying in public. So Meghan did the right thing. Don't give them any traction to sort of push their own narrative. All right, do you understand what I mean? If Meghan come out and defend herself, all right, and at a certain, like at the beginning, this is how I'm seeing it now. All right, Meghan keep coming out and talk, and knowing how the courtiers, the British media work, they know how to align themselves with certain narrative. Meghan come out and say something, they already switched their tune and say, let's use that and say to make the public go against Meghan. So Meghan didn't give them anything. All right, but eventually when she did speak, it's money in her pocket. Okay, as to the timing of their first photo together, Harry wanted to take a quote sooner the better. I'm telling you, this is what I mean. I think it was a relief to Harry. As soon as they find out about, he's like, okay, at least I cannot hide anymore. I could get my rights whenever I want. Well, not whenever I want, when I want, and she allowed me to have it. So I think it was a relief to him. All right. Approach and Meghan agree. Yeah, this is turning lemon into lemonade. They're trying to make their life miserable, and he was trying to keep it a secret, but they tried to intrude, and then it was a relief to him, and both of them. Oh, I had not even know. I've said this so many times before, in many videos. Okay, heads nodded all around on one idea, only to have an aide at another household dismiss the entire plan as a bad idea the very next day. This is the thing. Okay, this is the thing here. If you don't have your head on your shoulder, people's gonna be bouncing you around left and right. So Harry and Meghan had their core values together. They were aligned, and then the two households could go as much as they want. All right, and then when push come to shove, Harry and Meghan would choose the right whatever ideas or decision they give them. They are back. Daddy's back.
No, only me.
Why are you back?
I didn't want to say.
So why you have the thing on? When you by yourself, it's okay. My narrative is stopping now because interruption.
One eternity later.
Oh, I didn't know Meghan spoke against critics. That's interesting. Let's see here. Okay, if she wanted to fully enter the royal sphere, she had to remain apologetical, which made her previous level of activism impossible. She had previously spoken out against critics and called Donald Trump misogynistic and divisive. Silencing herself was no small sacrifice. Okay, knowing what we know now, how is Britex working for some of the Brits? All right, so everybody saw this was a bad idea. I didn't even know she spoke against that. Okay, it took some months before she felt comfortable with the guidance provided by Harry's team, including Jason and knowing what we know about Jason now. Okay, and the prince's private secretary, Edward Lane Fox, known as Ed or Elf to friends and journalists. Ed Harry's quote right hand and quote man was a former captain in the Blue and Royal, a regiment of the Household Cavalry who had served in Iraq and Bosnia. That was where he and Harry first met before he joined Harry's team in April 2013. Hugely involved in the Invictus game, Ed had become a close friend of Harry's during the Prince's solo travel over the years. The team trained Meghan and the people most important to her life on how to protect themselves from the increased attention. Having the palace acknowledgement, her friend and their presence in the life was a relief to Meghan, who at one point wondered if there would be pressure to move away from those in her quote old life. So luckily, Meghan kept her true self. You can't keep, if you have a good relationship with some people, why, how do you say that? Shove them away just because you move up. If she had done that, do you think these people will be speaking on her behalf, the People magazine and all of that? This is what happened when you stay true to yourself. Okay, there were conversations about social media conduct and specific advice to Meghan's friend. See, they were trying to keep everybody quiet so they could do their nonsense to her. Okay, Meghan's life, or who had one-on-one time with Jason to learn, they did that? One-on-one time with, my God, this guy is, if this is true, this is crazy. This is crazy. There were conversations about social media conduct and specific advice to Meghan's friends, all who had one-on-one time with Jason. Really? To learn the do's and don'ts of Twitter and Instagram, for example, how to avoid leaving clues that reveal Meghan's location to the paparazzi. What a two-face. Knowing what we know now, when they took their security away and they told where they were in Canada. That's what came to mind here. Who were monitoring anyone associated with Meghan's account. Quote, it was little bizarre, end quote. One of the friends who spoke to Jason said, quote, but it made sense. This wasn't about the royal family. It was simply about her safety. That's how it was laid out. It was good to know there was someone to talk to. Wow. So if we had been pestered by tabloid journalists or paps, end quote. My goodness, knowing what we know, the two-face. So they will make it easy for them to go to him, and then he will go and tell what happened to the paparazzi. Can you imagine that? Call between Meghan and Kensington Palace aide quickly became the norm. And while she still got a little annoyed at the advice sometimes, see, your instinct is always true. Get a little annoyed at the advice sometimes, Meghan grew to realize the importance of their support and experience as she navigated Harry's world, which was quickly becoming her own. Wow, that's the end of chapter 6. Alright, so this is crazy. The backstabbing and all of this is crazy, knowing what we know now. So next time when I read again, it will be chapter 7, Tropical Storm. Oh my god, this thing is gonna... See, I would have continued, but my son is here. That's it.